Hi students, today let us see the first part of the lesson tissues. Today we are going to see the new lesson in biology. So let me raise one question. What is the fundamental unit of life? Already you have learned in the previous lesson the fundamental unit of the life is nothing but cells, right? So your answer is right. Cells make up the body of all organisms. How many cells do you think that an organism needs to live? One, two, or many, right? So, based on the number of cells present in an organism, we can classify that as two. One is unicellular organism and the another one is multicellular organism. So, the word cell is derived from the Latin word meaning small room. It is the smallest unit of life and otherwise it is called as building blocks of life. The study of cells is called as cell biology, cellular biology or cytology. Okay, today in the next slide let us see the unicellular organism. Yeah, look at this organism. An organism like amoeba is made up of only a single cell. Yes, you heard it right. Just one single cell constitutes the body of an amoeba. These cells carry out all the functions of this organism's body, like respiration, digestion, locomotion, and excretion. Okay, then what about a cat or a dog? Do they have a single cell? Of course, they don't. They have many cells which make up their entire body. So, the organism which have many cells are called as multicellular organism. There are group of cells which carry out different functions. For example, a group of cell which carry out respiration, the other group of cell which carry out digestion. So in that way, the group of cells will start to work together, function together in multicellular organisms. Okay, do they have a specific name? Yes. So the group of organisms which are called as tissues. Yeah. So let us see about tissue. What are the group of cells called? So each cluster of cells are called as tissue. So each tissue carry out different function. A tissue is a group of cell of a same origin which are similar in structure and function. Yeah. So such organism with many tissues are called multicellular organisms. So multicellular organisms have tissues in their body which are placed at specific places and carry out specific function. This is called division of labor in the organism's body. Yeah. So can you give me a few example of tissues in a human body which do the specific function? Yeah, muscle. So the muscle. Yes, the muscles or tissues that help us for movement by contraction and relaxation. What about blood? Do you know the blood is a tissue? Yes. Blood help transport nutrients, hormones and waste materials. And blood is also called as a connective tissue of a human body. Yeah. Now we have seen about the two types of organism like unicellular and multicellular organisms, right? Now let us know about how it is going on in plants. Okay. Do you think plants have tissues too? Either all the tissues in plants and animals similar? Do you think plants need the same as the human? Logically, they do not have the same tissues as humans too. But the plants have tissues. Yeah. Let us see what are the considerable difference between the two are. Do plants move from one place to another like humans? No. Plants are stationary where the movement are restricted. So it will be called as non-motile. So closer if you look at the plant tissue, will you make you realize most of them have dead tissues? Yes, dead tissues. And why do that? think plants need dead tissues? The answer is quite simple. Plants only need mechanical support, hence, they do not need living tissues. So, dead tissues provide support to the plant and they need very little maintenance. Yeah. Now, see this. So, from this, in this lesson, we are going to see about two types of tissues. One is plant tissue and another one is animal tissue. Now, let us see only about the plant tissue. Yeah. Do you know that there are two types of tissues in plants? One type of tissue divides throughout its lifetime, which is called as dividing tissue. The other type of tissue not having an ability to divide, which is called as non-dividing tissue. Okay, what is the purpose of such a differentiation? Well, plants do not grow uniformly throughout their body. Their growth is restricted to some specific parts. But humans and animals exhibit uniform growth throughout their body. Therefore, animals have tissues where they divide throughout their body parts. And now let us see what these tissues are named as and its function. These dividing and non-dividing tissues are technically called as meristematic tissues. Where does the word meristematic come from? It comes from the Greek word meristos, meaning divided. Well, the main function of these tissues is to divide and help the plant growth. So, where do they think you will find this tissue? Exactly, they are at all places where the plant's parts show the growth. As well, just studied all the parts of plant do not show growth. The meristematic tissues named differently based on the part where it is found. Do you know how many such a part of plants have meristematic tissues? There are three different parts that have meristematic tissues. The meristematic tissue in each of these parts have different name. Let us look at the three main types of meristematic tissues. The first is the apical meristem, the second is the lateral meristem, and the third is the intercalary meristem. Okay, do not be let down by these different names. Look at this picture. Apical meristem found in the growing tips of a stem and the roots. This tissue divides and helps in increase the length of the plant. So, which meristem is helpful to increase the length of the plant? Which is nothing but apical meristem. Okay. Do you know where the lateral meristem found? Yeah. Lateral meristem found in the girth of the plant. Lateral means side to side, and this means the girth of the plant. The lateral meristem tissue divides and increases the girth of the plant. So, apical increases the length and lateral increases the girth of the plant. This girth of the plant is also known as cambium of the plant. Cambium, C-A-M-B-I-U-M. Okay, so the girth of the plant is also known as cambium of the plant. Okay, where the third type of tissue found? It found in the base of the leaves or the internodes. This tissue will facilitate the growth of the twigs into branches. Yeah. So we have seen three type of meristematic tissues. One is apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Apical meristem present in the growing part of the tip of the plants like the stem and in the root, and it is helpful to increase the length, and the lateral meristem increases the girth of the plant, and the other one is called as intercalary meristem, which is present in the nodes, internodes of the part where the leaves comes out, right? So all these tissues are very active. The cells in these tissues are filled with cytoplasm. They require a lot of energy and nutrition to carry out the various function of these tissues. At the initial stage, which means in a seedling stage of a plant, these tissues are not differentiated into any specific types. Once they divide and mature, after completing the growth of plant, their characteristic change. Then they are differentiated into the components of a single tissue. Division of labor takes place only after maturity. Until then, all the meristematic tissues exhibit the same function of simple growth of the plant. If these are the characteristic of a dividing tissues, what about the non-dividing tissues? Yeah, we know the dividing tissue is called as meristematic tissue and the non-dividing part is called as permanent tissue. Now in this session we have learned about the plant tissue which is called as the meristematic tissue, and in the next session we are going to learn about the non-dividing tissue which is called as permanent tissue. Okay children, so today what you should do is after looking this video, just take your classwork, write on the name of the lesson and draw the diagram which is given here on the left hand side, which shows three type of meristematic tissues like apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Okay, and try to write the things which I have given in this presentation in the classwork too. So let us see in the next session. Thank you children.